This episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. Booking a doctor appointment can just feel so daunting, but thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. I love ZocDoc. My psychiatrist, my dentist, my primary care physician, my, a couple other people I've all found through ZocDoc. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Schauer, SCHAUER, to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Well, hey guys, my name is Sarah Schauer, and this is the first episode of Schauer Thoughts, a podcast for left and right brainers. I'm super excited to be here. I am a wee bit emotional. I do have to tell you up front, because I'm so excited. You know, when you get everything that you wanted after not, and then you like kind of throw up a little bit. I did throw up in my mouth on the way here. I'm so sorry. This is like if this is your first time meeting me, I'll explain endorphins and dopamine and how they can affect you. Basically, it's like, anyway, I have had 2 previous podcasts before, so this is not like my first podcast, but first solo podcast, and I'm really excited. I need to clarify for everyone up front that these are informal, informational, and comedic musings, similar to thoughts you would have in the shower. My last name is Schauer, and so you know when you're made fun of something your entire life, and now you finally get to use it yourself in marketing materials. But golden shower, half an hour, rocket power, how's the shower head pressure. Like, if you think that you're the first person to ever say it, trust me, you're not. But it's okay if you do make those jokes, as long as you would be surprised the amount of gross stuff people do in the shower. And they would then say to me, I'm just really happy that my last name is not toilet, honestly. But so I almost finished college. Sorry, I just feel like I had to tell you guys because I will be going over some scientific stuff that's informational, and I will always cite my sources, books especially. But yes, almost finished college with a double major in business analytics and marketing. So statistics is what I will most confidently speak on. I did walk, but I didn't graduate. Grades were submitted after I walked, but those fools, I already had the pictures, you know? So I technically did graduate, but other than that, why I wanted to get into this is I'm autistic. I'm a student of the universe. I love learning. I also have a large resume in comedy, specifically internet comedy, but also real life comedy. I do stand up as well, but for the past 10 years, I've been doing internet comedy. Started off on Vine. When that went away, rest in peace, I went to Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. I don't know if that's going away. Instagram, really every single place. I've been nominated for Viner of the Year, YouTube Comedian of the Year. I used to work in advertising, so I also have experience with the business side and like copywriting, where I did do some pretty major brands, comedy stuff, which is cringy. But also, for the time, it was pretty impressive. I am in some advertising textbooks, so even though I didn't graduate college, business school, which is fun. But so that is my professional background, and why I love learning is, and I really am so sorry if I cry. I really, really am, but I have to tell you why this means so much to me. Okay, I'm an alcoholic. Oh no, it already started. I got sober 2 years ago, and so when I got sober, I had never tried actual stand-up comedy because I was too afraid. And so then in 2023, I was like, you know what? I'm sober now. I'm gonna do stand-up. And so I started getting into stand-up, and then I actually did it so well. I went to the New York Comedy Festival. So 2024 rolled around, and I was like, well, if I can get into stand-up, then I can start reading. And you're like, well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, I can read in general, but I was like, you know what? I want to just read, and I read 67 books last year, 63 being nonfiction, and 4 were fiction. But I am a huge lover of psychology, sociology, cultural anthropology, math, science now. I do have my entire list of books that I read on my Instagram, my Substack, my Storygraph as well. Storygraph I need to update. for any Storygraph followers and you found your way here. I am currently reading 5 books at the moment. And so if you're like, which one are you? They're all of them. I like to hop around. But so this means a lot to me because, oh my God, I'm really not going to cry. I swear to God. The first episode, by the way, is about Hopecore. So this actually is on theme. This is hopeful. Hopefully it inspires some hope in the new year. Lord knows we're all going to need it if you're American. If you're not American, wow, you did it. You're free. No, a lot of other countries have a lot of issues, and I'm not ignorant in that way, but I'm saying Americans, we're going through it. But I am also autistic and ADHD. And this is, you're like, are we trauma dumping? No, this is, I need to give the background information of why this means so much to me. Hopefully to inspire some hope, which we will get to. And, okay. I never felt smart growing up. Like, I didn't get good grades. I didn't really finish college. My parents are incredibly intelligent. And they weren't exactly helpful, they're more like the type to be like, how can you not get this? How can you not get this simple thing? Meanwhile, I'm asking them about, retinitis pigmentosa. The only reason I know about that is because the only, fun reading magazines we had in the house was, medical journals because mom's a doctor. So they never really were helpful. And on top of that, we were in a military family, so we moved around a lot, and I felt disconnected from everything, and I felt stupid, and I felt totally alone. And then, then I became an alcoholic in college. And so completely and utterly disconnected for the first 18 years of my life. I didn't even bother to dream, wonder. Everyone always asks, what did you think you were going to be growing up? And I was like, I didn't think that far in advance. And then, life got overwhelming, and I was a pretty heavy drinker for 8 to 9 years. And so it was just disconnected all growing up. On top of that, I'm a lesbian and my parents are incredibly Christian. We'll get into fun stories about that. But let's just say completely disconnected. And then just numbing when I got to college and then beyond that. So the reason why I loved learning so much, and I love learning, is, because I don't want to escape anymore, and I don't want to be numb. I want to learn, and I want to know, and I want to speak clearly. I don't want to be completely and utterly right on things, because I know that I won't. I just more want to understand. And when I read, a lot of this stuff is painful, as, anyone who knows any sort of sliver of history or science or really anything, that it's painful to read. But I would rather be totally confronted by truth and feelings than just numb, because I did that for so long. And so I say all this, I did not finish college, and I am learning, and I do love reading, but I also know that I'm not infallible. So if there's anything I misspeak on, or if there's more nuance, or you have feedback, or if you want sources, because I love giving sources, I'm more than happy to read your feedback and also give sources. Actually, throughout what I'm going to say today, I feel like I'm going to drop too many sources because I feel like I have to prove myself intellectually. And I've also, I've read a couple books on cults and mind control. I read, something on totalism. It's a study of mind control in China. And, being explicit and transparent and offering outside resources and encouraging everyone to be able to walk away, because I know cult of personality, and you're like, why are you so worried about this now? Because the thing is in the past, I did comedy. You can BS with comedy, You can lie, honestly. Actually, there's a couple different types of lies. Fun fact, white, gray, red, black lies, right? Everyone only knows white lies, but I can do another episode on that. But with comedy, you can BS. But with so much misinformation out online, I feel and just also learning and understanding what is true and correct and wanting to be clear, I want to make sure that the facts are factual. They are correct. They can be fact-checked. I am autistic, so I do love things that are not ambiguous. But so I just want to say, if you have any feedback, I am more than willing to receive it. Also, this is Schauer Thoughts. This is the warm-up, right? Similar to if you were to step into a shower, you have to take your clothes off. I kind of am going to ask you guys, actually, is it okay if I do, and I'm asking the audience, sound effects, drop like a shower turning on, the gentle pitter-patter of your clothes falling to the floor, or if you're a lesbian, the thud as your multiple carabiners hit the tile, well, let me know. So this is the warm-up in Hopecore, and the progression of Schauer Thoughts is that warm-up, really getting in there, scrubbing, dirty details, getting behind the ears, checking the holes. I'm kidding. Also, I'm really, this just means some, and then we're going to do a cool down, which is, I asked my followers on Instagram things that make them feel hopeful. And so this is the funny part where I'm going to joke about my own last name, laugh it up. If we were to build an audience, a community, we would have to call it the communal shower. So get comfortable with that, or don't. We can just do Schauer Thoughts, THOTS. Again, that is sexualizing. So two roads, divergent of wood, and both of them end up sexual. Either we are Schauer Thoughts or the communal shower. But this will be, you know what, I'm thinking too far ahead. But Hopecore is what I wanted to talk about. It's something that trends on TikTok, if you've seen it. Just a little rundown. It is a curated messages. They are curated messages of optimism. It's where people post content centering around amplifying positive connections, appreciation for the world around them, self-care, making peace with themselves, and promoting feelings of hopefulness that can put a stop to bedtime doom session scrolling. This is the quote continued from The Independent. I will, if you want the source, it's from The Independent. It's called TikTok Trend, Hopecore Memory Positivity. What? That's so SEO, you nailed it. But the title, what the hell? So Hopecore is a celebration of both little and big things in life and reminds us that a person's mindset will boil down to discerning between seeking out the good or the bad in every situation they face, and better days will come out of their choice to seek the good. Well, actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So this is where I'm going to start really getting in there, just even with the word discernment. Now, a lot of people, if you focus on the negative, you are more paranoid. If you focus on only the good, you're more naive. However, if you see both the good and the bad, and you weigh them equally, you are discerning, right? The difference between paranoid and naive and discerning is the amount of information you know, both emotional and intellectual. Because here at Schauer Thoughts, we are left and right brainers. You need emotions and logic equally. If you prioritize emotions over logic, we're going to end up irrational. If you prioritize logic over emotions, you're going to end up cold, distant, and honestly irrational as well. I do love math and I love logic. One of my favorite books is The Art of Logic by Eugenia Chung. So I will talk about that. Another thing about me is that I love studying emotions. I don't necessarily like being emotional, and you're like, au contraire, I just saw you cry a couple times, and this is the first episode within the first 15 minutes. And I understand, yes. So 2 of my favorite books on emotions are Between Us, How Cultures Create Emotions by Batja Mesquita, and then How Emotions Are Made. That one, the author, I'm blanking on right now, but I know that people in the comments will know who wrote it. But also there are fires in California, so I am coughing a wee bit and burping. That's actually, fire department put out a memo, said if you're burping, that's something separate. No, sorry. And I smoke, okay? So if you're like, why is Sarah sniffing and crying and coughing? It's because I smoke and there's fires, and I'm so sorry. Nobody's perfect. But okay, so I love studying emotions. The feeling hopeful does share the same simple emotions as wonder. And so wonder is a complex emotion. This is the equation, the unambiguous equation for wonder. Happiness plus fear. Again, those two books that I cited will describe this for you. However, between us, How Cultures Create Emotions by Batja Mesquita will go into individualistic and collectivist emotions. If you're listening from America, you likely have some individualistic emotions, unless you're an immigrant, and then we could get into collectivist emotions. It really depends on who I'm talking to right now. But wonder is happiness plus fear, and it shares the same emotional equation as hopeful. So it makes sense that a dash of happiness breaking through the constant wall of negativity, aka doom scrolling, would inspire, hopefulness, wonder. When was the last time you needed to go to a doctor, but you pushed it off? Maybe the excuse, I'm too busy, it'll heal on its own. I've been there. Oh my God, the amount of stuff that has happened in my lower body where I've been like, that'll heal by itself. Or, I don't know which doctor to go to. We've all been there. Booking a doctor appointment can just feel so daunting. But thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. I love ZocDoc. My psychiatrist, my dentist, my primary care physician, a couple other people I've all found through ZocDoc. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Schauer, SCHAUER, to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/SCHAUER, Schauer, ZocDoc.com/Schauer. I was also reading this book on consciousness in the brain. So when you doom scroll, you're fed a constant stream of negativity. And if you are familiar with subliminal images, why they are so scary is because it's just a blip of something that breaks up a constant stream. Now, this is the inverse of that, where it's horror constantly being fed to you, and then there's a blip of hopefulness. So it catches your attention, right? Everything seems so hopeless, which, considering America, that is pretty much, that's kind of intentional at this point, but we'll get into that. But yeah, so Hopecore breaks through the noise of negativity, and it kind of shocks you, it hits you. So I will talk about shock, which is another simple emotion. But for right now, hopefulness and wonder are happiness plus fear. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to wonder, I want to be hopeful. But the thing is, I don't want to be scared. If you want to be both hopeful and wonderful, you have to be a little bit frightened. It's actually part of the equation. But I'll keep going. Yes. There is also the emerging trend of hopeless core, which is not as subversive as everyone thinks it is because everything is already hopeless. It's like when someone makes a joke where the punchline is, just if I wanted to get into basketball, what season should I start on? And then everyone's like, stupid idiot. It doesn't go by seasons. It's basketball. And it's like, well, see, you didn't understand the original intent of the first thing. You know what I mean? So hopelessness core is not subversive at all. It's actually quite on the nose. But also, I'm not saying it's morally wrong. If you've produced some hopelessness core videos on the internet, that's funny too. Good for you. So the emotion of happiness, you guys don't have to write any of this down. Also, feel free to forget. You don't have to remember anything. That's the whole point of Schauer Thoughts. Informal musings. You hear it, you're like, I like that. And then you go back to washing your hair, right? So happiness is a simple emotion, and there are 3 basic levels to happiness. The most basic, low level of happiness being serene, content, and grateful, right? And then moving up, there's the moderate levels of happiness, which are cheerful, satisfied, pleased, enjoyed, and interested. And then there's high levels of happiness, which is ecstatic, eager, joyful, enthusiastic, and happy. A lot of people always say, and I've said this before, if you're joining me from somewhere else, whether it be the previous podcast, my TikTok, rest in peace, maybe, I don't know. She's on a ventilator. But, sorry. Know what? That's fine. It is happening. We don't know. But okay, a lot of people say, and also feel free to run this by a therapist. Always fact check anything that is mental health or physical health. If I'm talking about the brain, I want to be transparent and correct and not spread misinformation. All right. So a lot of people say they want to be happy, but what they don't realize is that you have to pursue happiness, right? With happiness, there's dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, maybe a little bit of endorphins, right? And so saying you want to be happy, right, is like saying, I want to be on mushrooms. The thing is if you want to be on mushrooms, you got to go buy some mushrooms, you know? Just expecting to be on mushrooms when you wake up in the morning. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what life you lead. But the thing is you have to, and you have to start microdosing happiness, you know, whether it be serene, content, or grateful, right? And then you start building a tolerance to happiness, right? A lot of people, when they want to be happy, they go nuts to guts. And so if you take a bunch of mushrooms, right, you're like, I'm going to be on mushrooms, but you take a lot. You're going to be scared out of your ever-loving mind because too much of a good thing can be outright terrifying, right? So, and then you're going to have a crash, right? I swear, if I could have people who've taken mushrooms present here today, they would tell you that don't start out big, go small, you know? So same thing applies with happiness. You're going to have to start microdosing, serene, content, and grateful. And then you'll move up to, oh my God, dude, I'm cheerful, I'm satisfied, I'm pleased, I'm interested, right? Like today, on my way here, I was crying out of joy, and joy is a very high level of happiness. And because I'm going through a lot, dude. My relationship, you know, has just come to an end, and it was amicable. There was no drama, no cheating, no backhandedness, no snide comments, no family or friend drama, right? Just two people growing apart. Last podcast came to an end. Just two people growing apart. TikTok, my main avenue of expression, is coming to an end. So everything is just kind of coming to an end. And thankfully, trauma can be a great teacher. I did move around a lot growing up, so I'm used to things coming to an end. But it was so many things in my life coming to an end that it's just a wee bit depressing if you really think about it. And so when I was on my way here, I was just so excited to start this new podcast, something solid, something definite. Hopefully, if I speak good, long, and happy enough, funny enough. But yeah, so I was happy and I was getting so overjoyed that I actually threw up in my mouth a little bit. And that also happened another time one Christmas, because Christmas in my house, I'd always just ask for stuff. And you know, when your parents don't get you the stuff that you asked for because they know best, and I'm not ungrateful. But one Christmas I did get everything I had asked for. And then I was so excited I threw up all over. Everywhere. And now I'm finding out through studying the brain, the body, and, you know, neurotransmitters, I had a rush of endorphins and dopamine in my head to the point where I ralphed, you know? So when you get at a high level of happiness, yeah, it's great, but it can be completely and utterly overwhelming, right? And also environment really does matter. So, you know, if you're on mushrooms and you're somewhere scary and people are yelling at you and the lights are flashing, sure, you're happy, but you won't be for long, you know? So environment really does matter. But yes, that is the brain of it all. There is an article that I'm quoting. I will link this below because I cannot read you this link. Okay. There is a growing body of research that suggests if you want to cultivate positive change in yourself, others, and society, restoring hope is a vital first step. And the great thing about hope is that half of it is fear. So if you've got some fear, all you need to do is start microdosing happiness, and soon you'll have hope. So when it comes to awe and wonder, wonder is happiness plus fear, and awe is fear plus happiness. So order does matter. Childlike sense of wonder. You're happy, and then you get scared, right? And then with that low dose of fear, you want to explore more. Whoa, I'm wondering about the stove. Mom says I can't touch it. I'm a kid, happy. But then, you could get into burned. But then awe is when you're, sorry, I don't know if that's a good example for wondering, but I mean wonderful. It's not wonderful when children get burned. I digress. But then fear plus happiness is awe, right? And so if you want to feel hopeful, right? If you want to start cultivating a better sense of self, then if you're afraid, if you're anxious, if you're a little bit nervous, if you're scared, if you're puzzled, if you're reluctant, if you're bewildered, in any sort of capacity, congratulations, you're halfway to wonder. That is great. So let me get back to my notes. Psychologist C. Rick Snyder, PhD, he knows what he's talking about, defined hope as the perceived capability to derive pathways to desired goals and motivate oneself via agency thinking to use those pathways, right? So you have to follow a path. You can't just expect to wake up happy. It's like expecting to wake up on mushrooms. Optimism is the expectation of a better future. Hope, however, is action-oriented and a skill that can be learned, right? The pursuit of hope, the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of fear, buddy, we're already 26 miles down the trail. But Chan Hellman, PhD, says wishing is passive toward a goal and hope is about taking action toward it. And so, like I said, hopefulness is happiness plus fear. The opposite of hope is despair and helpless. I can't speak. Like I said earlier, hopefulness is happiness plus fear. The opposite of hope is despair and helplessness, which is fear plus sadness. So if you're like, I'm feeling helpless, you're afraid and sad. But then to be hopeful, you just got to be afraid and happy. So turn that frown upside down, champ. Go for a walk. Again, run this by your therapist. I don't know what all is going on in your brain. But this is mainly, getting really into the nitty gritty of what hope is. And I did also say earlier, I am autistic. So if you were hoping for just more of a, hey guys, we're going to watch kids get adopted, I am so sorry. I mean, you could do that. My brother's adopted. Oh, he loves it. No, he loves us. He was adopted when he was a baby. But okay, no. If you want to watch Hopecore, the general examples of what you'll see is coming home videos. Your mom was deployed. Well, my mom was in the military and she was deployed. When she came home, she just didn't want to speak for days. And I mean, maybe I just have a different life experience from a lot of people, but it was great, mom's home, woo! Because we did get severe vitamin A deficiencies and, because we only ate Hamburger Helper, because that's all my dad would make, until I learned how to make salads. But, life has turned around, and it wasn't bad growing up. You know what? I'm going to keep going. So hopefulness is a choice, is an action, and by definition, it will be scary. It's daring to face the unknown, the challenges of the world, and at least giving yourself agency, choice, and autonomy to live or go out on your own terms. Again, please run this by a therapist. Yeah. So if you did want to look into like areas of study, I don't know. You're probably just in the shower, or you're probably, washing your hands or driving your car. You probably don't have a notepad. If you wanted to explore this further, guys, in areas of study, I just wanted to suggest this in case, I don't know how old you guys could be, or if you're going to college, you're like, what do I major in? And I want to be hopeful. Positive psychology, future studies, and pragmatic hope philosophy. Now, the thing is, are there a lot of jobs currently in philosophy? No. But however, silver lining from Sarah's POV is that technically actually there kind of is. So if you go online and you listen to people for like maybe 2 seconds when you're doom scrolling, you'll notice that a lot of them are posing very philosophical questions about who am I? What is the world? Am I gay? Or am I just from Montana, They are wondering about who they are and what their beliefs are, because a lot of people have just kind of been told who and what they are, and now that they're unpacking that, speaking of which, another episode, decentering, I'll get into it. A lot of people are just wondering genuinely what is right versus wrong, different types of morality, and a lot of people are having morality panics, especially with the rise of the Trump administration. So if you're like, there's not a lot of philosophy fields other than teaching, technically yes, but if you're willing to go on social media or YouTube even for a little bit and make discussion videos about, pragmatic philosophy, hope philosophy, then actually there is a lot of technically well-paying jobs, depending on if they ban TikTok. I am actually speaking at a time where it's incredibly uncertain, but YouTube is like a savings account. There's also some book resources if you'd like to fact check literally anything at this point. The Oxford Handbook of Hope by Matthew W. Gallagher. Have fun. There are also some other books that I'd recommend from Schizophrenic Reads on TikTok and Instagram. His name is Nathan, and he's one of my favorite book talkers, bookstagrammers, I guess. Again, we're at a weird point. I don't know if it's been banned, but he does a lot of nonfiction, and he did recommend a couple books because he made a video on feeling hopeless. So Hope in the Dark by Jessica. Hope in the Dark by Rebecca Solinit. I'm so sorry. Also, if I stutter when I read, I did have a stutter growing up. You know what? I'm going to get it all on the table. Actually, let me tell you the other books. Mutual Aid by Dean Spade. It's Radical Optimism and Care. Imagination, a Manifesto by Ruha Benjamin. Now, public speaking. I did have a really horrible stutter growing up. It's because my parents were Christian and in the military, and they always said that children should be seen and not heard. So when I tell you I barely spoke growing up, I did not speak. And when I did, they said, if you're going to speak, whatever you say has to be important. So that's a lot of pressure for a kid. And that's why I, went to comedy, because comedy, at least I can make a joke. In terms of important or smart, I could not make that bet, So I did have to go to speech therapy, and also autism, ADHD. I do have a wee bit of dyslexia, so the letters do dance. They dance around. So if you would like to make jokes about that, feel free. It will hurt my feelings deeply, but I completely understand. It will be a wee bit ableist, so just warning you. We have fun here. So if you're an activist... Hope should be part of your agenda. It's an active pursuit. It challenges the status quo, and hope in the face of oppression is a way to speak truth to power, right? So if you try to cultivate hope, right, which is fear plus happiness, and the government or the oppressive systems that be want to keep you in a suspended state of fear and helplessness and anxiety, right? Because if you're locked into place, then all you can really do is just your job, go home, sleep, your job, go home, sleep. However, if you start to take back your fear, your anxiety, your any sort of thing that has fear, anxiety, or anger, right? You take it back from the government and you repurpose it to become hopeful and pursue your genuine desires, even if it's a little bit scary. You are actually seizing the means of production. So if there is any leftist in the audience who likes Karl Marx, anyone, communism, I don't know why I expected a whole bunch of communists to just break through the door. Okay, the government relies on you to be locked in place because of fear and anger, right? And because that's the way you can do your job, right? If you're scared and afraid of other people as well, then you can reinforce systems of oppression out of pure fear alone. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm not drunk. It's 2 years. Sorry. If you remain locked in a state of pure fear, anxiety, and anger, only that you can go to your job, come home, and then numb, and then you take back your fear and you take back your anger, you are seizing the means of production. There we go. So, also people are like, I've I want to be hopeful, but I'm scared about the state of the world. That's good, dude. That's like saying I want to drive 100 miles, but I only have a full tank of gas. Well, you actually have like half of it, so you just gotta find some happiness, maybe a little tunes for the road. And again, this is a massive oversimplification if you do have some comorbid stuff going on in your brain. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I'm just saying. Yes. Well, that was getting into the nitty-gritty of it. I do have some quotes. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, I guess. I did want to say hope is a waking dream, which does make sense. That's from Aristotle. And so if you want to get into philosophy, Aristotle, this is the nitty gritty, and I'm just going to be building. I really do want to quote a research paper directly because this is a research paper and mama don't know how to smart. So Aristotle did say hope is a waking dream, and that does make sense because I'm going to talk about how the brain constructs dreams. So this is called How the Brain Constructs Dreams from Aaron J. Wamsley and the National Library of Medicine. So abstract. Deep inside the temporal lobe of the brain, the hippocampus has a central role in our ability to remember, imagine, and dream. And so imagining, wondering, awe, right, and dreaming. So hope is a waking dream, right? Wondering, awe, struck is a waking dream. Our most vivid dreams are a remarkable replication of reality, combining disparate objects, actions, and perceptions into a richly detailed hallucinatory experience. How does our brain accomplish this? It has long been suspected that the hippocampus contributes to dreaming, in part due to its close association with memory. According to one estimate, about half of all dreams contain at least one element originating from the specific experience while the subject was awake. So the hippocampus does deal with like memory and spatial awareness. Oh, I did talk about this on the other podcast. So like if you study and you want to remember things better, you best start migrating around the library because spatial awareness and your surroundings will help you memorize things better, because you can associate it with a specific place. I'll keep going. Although these dreams are rarely a faithful replication of any one memory, fragments of various recent experiences intermingle with other memories, usually related remote and semantic memories, to create a novel dream. Given all this, one might guess that dreams are created by those regions of the brain responsible for memory. However, studies dating back to the 1960s have suggested that patients with a damaged hippocampus still dream, and somewhat amazingly, such patients can have dreams involving recent experiences of which they have no conscious memory. So now, in Elife, Eleanor Maguire of University College London, UCL, go Londoners, and colleagues, including Goffrinda Spano as first author, report that the dreams of four amnesia pays. Oh my gosh, wait. Basically, it all has to do with spatial memory, right? Wondering, dreaming. Aristotle, you were right. We can read it all day, guys. I'll link the research paper. But yes, wondering is like a dream-like state, but it's a waking dream. So Aristotle, you were right on the nose. You actually were. Oh, I did get this book called there's this book I'm about to read. It's where, people kind of accidentally discover, scientific things. I mean, Aristotle was involved with logic and philosophy, which inherently has to do with physics and metaphysics and ethics and stuff like that. So it's not like Aristotle, oh my God, you accidentally discovered like something metaphysical. It's like, no, that actually makes sense. But yes, Aristotle, you were correct in that it is a waking dream. You just got peer reviewed by someone who didn't graduate college, but neither did you. Because you're like 2,000 years old, right? I guess you did go to a public school, didn't we all? But no, you didn't have student loans. Good for you, Aristotle. But that's the nitty gritty. I will absolutely link everything that has been quoted because I should do that. This is one of those things that's also like being an alcoholic, why this means so much to me is because when you're an alcoholic or a substance user of any kind, you know that your words start to mean almost nothing. When you tell people I'll get better, I'll sober up. No, I swear to God, I'm really doing it this time. Your words start to have less and less weight. So why this also means a lot to me is not only am I talking in an intellectual capacity, I am saying things that are true. And I want you to believe it because you can look it up for yourself, and I'd like to be transparent. So I feel like I'm slowly earning weight back to my words and meaning. So, there was the complete silence of the first 18 years of my life, and now I lost all the weight to my words, and now I'm gaining it back. And I'm not speaking clearly because Lord knows I do stutter and can't read, and I'm not a college graduate, but slowly but surely I'm offering something of substance to the world. And I hope I gave you something else to muse about in the shower. So we will be cooling down, and cooling down does have a communal aspect to it. I know normally when joined by others you don't know in the shower, there is an element of fear, but hopefully you'll be happy about it because this is Hopecore, and you have to be afraid to be hopeful in some capacity. So I did ask on my Instagram, let me drink some water. I've been talking for so long. I'm normally not this nervous. Again, you know what? That sounds like, I've never done this before. Well, I've spoken at length to no one and to everyone. I've done stand-up and I've gone live, but when it's something kind of intellectual that you're piecing together, I'm like, crap, the pressure's on. I'm sweating. But on my Instagram, we're in the cool down time. Maybe insert a little, this is where, it gets cooler water, which can regulate you. I actually don't know. Cold water is great for panic attacks, but you know what else is? This is not sponsored. I wish it was. Actually, I've pitched this to them before, but they said we can't do anything with medical claims, so this is not sponsored. If you're having a panic attack, a cold shower and a sour warhead, because it'll shock your system. You'll be focused only on the sourness of it and the cold water. But yeah, and if that doesn't work, ask your doctor about beta blockers. Okay, so Instagram, Sarah Schauer. So I'm recording a podcast episode today. I asked this very genuinely, but whenever I pose a question on my Instagram stories, everyone is so funny. Hey guys, what's the last time you were genuinely hopeful? And then someone's like, when I got a blowjob last night. And I'm like, thank you, Carl. So I'm going to read the genuine ones. What makes you feel hopeful in life, in your routine, politically, relationally, romance or friendship, in your career. And I'm going to read some. You guys also feel free to give me feedback, professional or friendly. Non-friendly, keep it to yourself. Journal. No. Okay. So this is from my friend Courtney. Good movies make my heart feel so happy. It makes me inspired to be at that scale. Oh yeah, because my friend Courtney is an editor. A lovely editors make the world go round. And so yeah, she wants to make movies. So if you're an editor, I see you. I hear you. I love that you love movies. Someone said all the horrible things happening in the world right now will radicalize people. That is true. Yes, there's a huge element of fear going on, and as an alcoholic, I can understand that hitting your rock bottom isn't necessarily the worst thing. It's staying at your rock bottom. So, silver lining, this is not great. If we all hit our rock bottom, then we can really only go up from there. And I tried to get sober a couple times, and hitting my rock bottom actually was really, really beneficial. So that is hopeful, because you can only go up. Someone said, please don't ignore me. Sorry. I'm not. How much art, music, and laughter comes from the bad times? That is so true. A lot of people say, oh, my trauma made me funny. No, your trauma made you vigilant and gave you defense mechanisms, right? Like my trauma did, I guess it made me funny in that my parents were like, don't speak unless it's important. So I was like, well, it has to be funny now because I don't have anything important to say. And, you know, it diffuses the tension, laughter. I actually do want to. I read this book called Humor. It's The Philosophy of Humor by Terry Eagleton. And I would love to talk about the political power of comedy, right? Because comedy, you try to convince people of your opinion. That's why you should vet comedians like megachurch pastors. Whenever someone says it's just a joke, it's like, oh yeah, sure. And Joel Osteen really cares about Texans. I'm going to keep talking about what makes me hopeful. Singing songs with hopeful lyrics. The poem When Death Comes. Well, yeah, my parents, it's been 4 years since I got my eyesight back and I still have 20/20 vision. That's amazing, right? Hopeful. Things can change. Me, got sober. Never thought that was possible. I thought genuinely my heart was going to give out. But now I think I'm going to be hit by a bus. I have been hit by a car before. Didn't die. But I think I'm going to go out with a bus. People helping other people out of pure kindness. Yes, that does make me hopeful. Forgiving myself and knowing I'm capable of change. Yes, everyone is capable of change. Everyone is capable of learning and growing and understanding and reading. By the way, everyone should get a library card because most of the books that I've quoted, I understand if you have a hard time sitting down and reading. I actually have a bunch of resources for free and affordable audiobook options, which all start with getting a library card, especially if you're American. Like Libby, you can listen to audiobooks for free if you have a library card. This is not sponsored. I don't know why the library would reach out to me of all people. Sure, I do like to read, but am I the best representative? I've told you guys that I smoke and I got hit by a car when I was drunk. I was drunk. A shower. Showers make you feel hopeful, right? Also, no pressure to read. No shower pressure. Well, actually, that's a bad thing in this case. So there is a moderate amount of shower pressure to read or listen to reading. Is this? Yeah. The right person for the right time will come along when I need them to. Yes. Hopeful. Yeah. I mean, it technically is hopeful. Wait. Let me keep finding one. Seeing emo punk weirdo teens in a coffee shop drawing furry art. The culture lives on. Yes. Here's the thing. Normally, you'd be afraid to draw furry porn in view of others. But if it makes you happy, the combination of fear and happiness is hopeful, is wonderful. And I would be awestruck by someone so publicly drawing furry porn. Experiencing genuine care and feeling actually understood. Yeah, that's why I was crying earlier, right? People care about me enough that they want me to keep another podcast going. You know, hope is a revolutionary act, right? Because if you're hopeless, oh my God, did I confuse helpless and hopeless? If you're hopeless, then yeah, you're in a bad place. But then, the government tries to keep that going and, because then you won't rise up. Hope is stronger than fear. Actually, hope does involve a huge element of fear. But I'm going to keep going. Knowing anything I want to do can be achieved. Nothing is out of reach for me or the people. That is true. Slow progress. Also, if you want to get into slow, consistent progress, atomic habits, right? A 1% chance of change. 1% change every day. A 1% chance of change. No one would ever take those odds. Speaking of which, I hate to mention all the books I'm reading. I'm reading a book on gambling, philosophy, and psychology. But atomic habits is a great option. Just a small change every day. We're process oriented over here because we're in the shower. You don't hop in the shower to hope that it's over. You get in the shower and drag it out as long as you can, because just the simple joy of experiencing heat and soap and silence, not in this case, is so genuinely refreshing, right? It's a new perspective. There's that whole quote, if you feel like everyone hates you, eat something. If you feel like you hate everyone, sleep. Nope, I'm mixing these up. If you feel like the world hates you, take a shower. Something like that, right? Because they're all somatic experiences. And somatic experiences are like sensations, right? Like how your stomach hurts, right? You touch something, it's hot. It's the sensation part of feeling, because feelings are sensations that have been socialized, taught what is the right way to respond to different feelings. So there's multiple elements to feelings, to emotions, not feelings. There's actually, it's a whole different thing. But yes, somatic experiences, hop in the shower, eat something, go to sleep. When you fully immerse yourselves in those activities, you don't wait for it to be over. You're not like, I'm going to eat something and hopefully it's over soon, unless you have texture issues. Or you don't hop in the shower and think, oh God, I just want to be over soon, unless you have somewhere to be. all these somatic experiences that you use to regulate yourself, you're fully invested in the process, right? We're process-oriented people here. 1% minor changes every day instead of looking at, oh my God, I've got to make a full 180 by the end of the year. Of course, it's gonna be hard. You're not gonna want to do it. Did you turn on the mic?
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay.
It was already on. I set my phone down.
You were scrolling on your phone while I was speaking?
No.
Is this good?
It is good. I'm taking notes of everything.
Oh my God. I feel like, I'm sorry tell me if this makes you uncomfortable. Being a lesbian, just 51 minutes in, asking, is this good? It's like the most lesbian experience ever. Are you having fun?
I never got to ask,
Okay. Well, I do. The thing is I am a lesbian, so I will, and as is, you are, right, Rebecca?
I am.
Yeah, we got 2 lesbians here. The thing is we're lesbians here. Oh God, it's so crazy. The somatic, I guess we could talk about somatic lesbian experiences. That's actually going to get very wet, but we're already in the shower. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. You're already in the shower. There's a double entendre, and now it's perverse. I know I do have a large asexual following because of those videos I made. So I'm sorry if I do make you uncomfortable. By the way, Ace by Angela Chen is one of my favorite books of all times. I love you. Okay. Hopefulness. Seeing the wonderful things humans create. I'm watching Barbie right now. Yes. Creating things, expression, right? Expression, life, the essence of expression in life is where organization meets chaos, where left and right brain meet, system 1 versus system 2. Anyone read Thinking Fast and Slow? Sarah, another goddamn book. System 1, right? You're thinking fast. It's your emotions. And then system 2 is more logic, which is slower and quote unquote lazy. But they should be working together, right? You don't prioritize one over the other. You incorporate your emotions. They are valid, but you must, think about them logically. I think of emotions as heat and logic as light, right? If you know anything about physics, you need them both simultaneously or else there's an issue going on somewhere, right? Logic is the formula. Emotions are the inputs and the outputs. So you need both of them if you want to do the math right, or else you're going to get real irrational. I love math. Okay. Unironically, the TV show Supergirl. I've never seen it. My cats. I'm actually making progress at loving myself and realizing I have potential. That is wonderful, hopeful, right? I love that. Because I am 30 years old. Sorry to shatter the illusion. If you're actually too far away or you're a listener to see my crow's feet. I'm doing a red light therapy, and I was talking to Naomi, my ex. We're gay. We live together still. It's a lesbian thing, I swear to God. But us doing red light therapy, and Naomi is like, why are you doing that? And I was like, my crow's feet. And they were like, well, have you thought about quitting smoking? And I was like, I respect you deeply, and we are on good terms, but fuck you, Everyone can make progress. Everyone can change. Sure, it's hard. Most things that are worthwhile are hard, I'm sorry. Sorry. Relaxing domestic mundanity. Life's little moments. Yeah, the mundane. Serene, content, grateful. Serene is mundane. Content is mundane, right? The everyday things in life, right? Gardening, sowing seeds for future harvest. I thought they were talking about smoking weed. Because here's the thing. I do like to smoke some weed. A lot of people are confused by that because they don't understand the different types of sobriety, which is like the LGBTQ, how there's like lesbians, gay sexuals, gays, bisexual, pansexual, all that stuff. The recovery community does have a bunch of labels as well. Everyone's like, if you are sober, that means you just straight up don't do anything. No, that's straight edge. So yeah, there's like sober from, drug of choice, clean. If you say that you're clean, it kind of has the connotation of lesbian. Sober is like an umbrella term, so if anyone can really identify as gay. But if you say you're clean, it has a very specific connotation in the addiction community, much like lesbian does. There's dry drunk. It's where you just don't drink alcohol, but you live the same. I'm gonna be too overfamiliar. It's where you live the same type of lifestyle. But yeah, these have been my Hopecore moments. You can the thing is I was gonna cite some TikToks, but I don't know if it's going away. So if I put this episode out and I'm like, hey guys, look up these TikToks of Hopecore, you probably won't be able to, because TikTok is actually saying that they might shut down their full operations. But if you want to create Hopecore for any app or just for yourself to experience, because you can do that, right? If you're afraid, you're halfway there. If you want to start microdosing, happiness, content, serene, or grateful are what you need to aim for, right? If you go straight for joy, you might crash out. Environment really does matter in all these things. You know, where you get high really does matter. Ask anyone who's done psychedelics. But hopefully that inspired some hope. It is a revolutionary act. And I hope it makes you feel a little bit less hopeless. And thank you guys for listening to my first episode of Schauer Thoughts. I will be tweaking this as I go along. I know it's just a lot of speaking and reading. Actually, what else do you do for a podcast? Well, I should be dancing. I should be showing whole. I'm sorry. I really want you guys to respect me. And I understand that that's, you have to earn it. But thank you guys so much for listening. It's been great. So make sure I need to make the social media channels for this. Make sure to like and subscribe. Actually, it'll be on my YouTube channel. So like and subscribe to my YouTube. And then I actually don't know if I can make a TikTok account for it. So hang tight. But I will make an Instagram for it. And then follow me on Instagram, just Sarah Schauer. And make sure to rate this 5 stars, review it, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It would really mean a lot to me. If you have any feedback, also, it would really mean a lot to me. If you want any sources or add any nuance, or there's something you want clarification on, that is my favorite thing ever. I love getting asked questions because no one really does, because, they do, but it's more like, what? So if you want to get specific, I would love that. Thank you guys so much for listening to my Schauer Thoughts. I hope I gave you something to ponder, to wonder. I hope you're awestruck and hopeful. But have an amazing, I don't know what day I'm going to put this out, but have an amazing day. Bye.